Hi everybody, hope you all had a great weekend and happy Monday to everybody. We got a bullish start and that's what I was expecting. I launched a short video over the weekend. I showed you this chart. This is weekly chart of Nasdaq. So this is the US tech sector. You can see every time focus on my arrow here, focus on green line and red line. These are EMA lines and you can see in a bull market every time price actions goes so far away from green line, it comes back between green line and red line to gather energy and then push back up. Again, you can see come back here to get energy, push back up. Again, come back, gather energy, push up, energy, push up, energy, push up, and then bear market started here. Okay. Let's quickly look at here as well. This was the shortest bear market. This happened in, I think, near Corona time. So shortest bear market. And you can see here in this other bull market, push up, gather energy, push up, gather energy, push up, can again down. All right, let's keep going before as well. You can see how nicely these EMA lines predict this. You can see here also in bull market, push up, come down here, gather energy, push up, come down, touch green line, push up. Sometimes it touches green line and bounces, and sometimes it comes down to touch red lines to explore price and then the bounce. All right. Okay, so where are we now? So we are here now, and I launched a short video and I told you guys we are in this box and this is where we will be bottoming. Okay. The best scenario for the bulls is we already bottomed, it touched the green line, and now we're getting ready for new all-time high. The other scenario is from here we go all the way down to the red line. Okay, the red line is right now, as of now, 13,950. We come there, gather energy, and then push higher. Okay, so this is first scenario. So this is second scenario. I mean, my first scenario is we're already going higher from here to the new all-time high, and this is it. This is the dip you only get, and now we are heading higher. All right, and the second scenario, we go again to go under, explore more, and then go higher. No matter how we go, the end result is new all-time high by the end of this year. Just be remember that. And whenever you're buying any investments, especially in tech sector, just remember that the end result is here. All right. Okay. So now we got that out of our picture. Let's quickly look at triple Qs, and let's go to the daily chart, and let me hide these lines here, and let's get to the moving averages. And again, so there are two scenarios here. So this is the daily chart, and I was telling you guys, you can see triple Qs. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this was in bullish falling wedge. Okay, and then what happened on Thursday, we had a breakdown. This was a fake out move. This was to trigger stop loss, and then you can see on Friday we recovered back on this trend line, and today we are now going above this trend line. All right, so what this means, this was a trap, this was a bear trap. They were showing people that now it's going to be a falling down, the market is going to be crashed. This was all a trap, and now we are going higher, we are recovering. Now focus on this gap here. This gap is around 382.76. so from today's close we can go as high as 5% more, and even other higher would be around 5.86% to 385. And if I go to daily chart, you can see both scenarios. You can see we came very close to filling this gap, and now we are bouncing, so we can come back later. So there are two scenarios. All right, so like I said on my other weekly analysis, we now go higher, okay, and then we come down. So that target here, if I get to the weekly chart, let's quickly look at weekly chart and try to analyze our target. Let's see where we are. So if we go to weekly chart, the red line right now is around 339. So it's going to be, let's say, 340 by the time we go down. So it's going to be on weekly 340. So first scenario is we go high to new, straight to new all-time high. Second scenario is we come down to 340 and then bounce. All right. So these are two scenarios which we have to look into our observations, and then we'll make a decision based on that. By the way, guys, I do send pre-market and during midday update buy and sell zones for day traders or people who are looking to make quick money. And if you want to join, there's a join link in my video description. It's only $7 a month. It's very cheap, and I think if you make money, you can make in one trade money for the whole year of subscription. So look into that, and if you don't like, you can subscribe from the next month onwards. It's only like $7 a month, which is very, very cheap compared to what other people are charging. All right, so now triple Qs, you can also see we are on this trend line here, and you can see what happened. This trend line here, we got a fake out move. Here we broke the trend line on Friday, and then we recovered right back up, and now today we're going all the way to the high, and this is where we are now. So from here I think we're heading higher. So I don't see a lot of resistance until here, so let me draw a box here. Let's see here. So on a longer term analysis, this whole box here, you can see here, this whole area is a little bit of resistance, I think, and I'm gonna make this red. Let's try to get this, get the right tool here, so we all can see. So this is a bit red, and also this one is red. So this is a resistance area. So I think at minimum we are heading higher. So it's gonna be like this. We are heading higher before we go lower. This is what I'm expecting on triple Qs, and you can do trades based on this expectation. We're trying to break out of this bullish falling wedge, and now we're heading higher, in my opinion. All right, so now let's go to S&P 500, SPY, same scenario here. If I go to 1 hour chart on SPY, you can see there are two gaps here. One gap is very minor here, okay, and the other major gap is here. So I think most likely we could go and fill this gap. This was the gap which created after Fitch downgrade. So first gap is around 1.68% down, second gap is around 4% down. So again, both scenarios are here. I think let me extend this line on S&P 500. This was a support line. So on first scenario, we're going to go higher. Maybe we'll go a little bit more higher, fill this gap, then come down, and then fill this other gap, and then go higher. The other scenario is we are going straight to new all-time high, which is this green line. So no matter how we go, we'll be here by the end of this year. All right, so that's my prediction. VIX, you can see this is the fear index going lower. You can see it has a gap here. So focus on this gap, 14.34. This gap is not filled. So I'm expecting this gap to fill. So let's maybe make it a different line. So I think from here, it can come all the way down. You can see also cycle low is coming here. So my expectation is here for VIX to do this. It should go down, fill this gap, and then go higher later on. All right, so that's my preferred scenario. So keep a lookout on VIX for that. Dow Jones US 30 was a bit weak today. Let's quickly look at DIA. It closed 0.13% down, where all the indices were going higher. But you can see here, let me get some moving averages here. You can see here it's finding resistance on this 50 EMA and 50 SMA daily chart, and I really think we can, if other indices are going higher, I think Dow Jones will also go higher. There's a gap here around 351, fulfill that and then go lower or go to a new all-time high. IWM, same thing. The good thing about IWM is it's holding this trend line, and it recovered very nicely. It broke down on Friday, found support on this blue line, which is 200 EMA, recovered, and now it's getting ready to go to maybe new all-time high. Or the other scenario is we go higher here, fill this gap, go lower, and then go higher. All right, so it's two scenarios which I think are possible here. All right, so let's keep moving. Gold is you can see here, sorry, a little bit of divergence here on daily chart on gold. Not a big let me get there. You can see here little bit of divergence here on daily chart. RSI has no divergence. If I go to 1 hour chart on gold, let me hide these EMA lines so it's a bit clear to you guys. You can see what's happening here. We're going lower, lower, lower. You can see momentum going higher. RSI is going higher. And let's try to draw a trend line to see if we have a breakout yet. You can see if I let me try to do this like this. If we do something like this, you can see we had a maybe something like this. You can see we had a breakout, or I'm not sure if you want to do it like this, or yeah, maybe we can do it like this, but there's not a lot of spot here. This way I get three spots here. So you can see here, looks like we had a fake out, then breakout, now it's breaking out. So gold is looking very nice, and you can see it's breaking out on a bullish momentum. Gold miners, sorry guys, gold miners, you can see same thing here. Momentum, you can see new low. Here you can see PPO is going higher with new low, and RSI is also going higher. We got a green dot on 1 hour chart, and on 1 hour chart you can see all these gaps on the upside to fill. And today this gap was fully filled here. There was a gap here around 27.3. You can see today's lows 27.27 fully filled, and I think we're heading higher from here. Just remember there's another gap here around 26.72, so if there is some weakness, it could come down to fill that gap, and I don't see any other gap below that. So just be mindful of that, but looking like we're heading higher to let's go back to daily chart. You can see we're getting higher to, let's bring EMA lines and see what's happening. You can see we are way far from green line, which is 10 moving average, and white line, which is 20 EMA. So it's possible we're going to get a very impulsive bounce very soon on gold miners. Dollar facing resistance where it should. It made a new high, but it looks like it's ready to make a basically down move, which would be very healthy for entire stock market. Sorry guys, give me a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, dollar looks like it's going to get weak. This is where the resistance is, looking for it to go lower. And silver, let's go to gold again. So gold, you can see resistance. I'm looking for it to pump, and silver is one of the chart which acted very nicely. You can see right on the support trend line, and it's bouncing now. So I think we can get a bounce. Maybe we'll get a dip to another this trend line, and then we're gonna bounce higher again. Natural gas right on this support line. You can see a little bit of follow through, and we can do something like this. We can draw a trend line like this, and it can still go a little bit lower, but I think natural gas, this is a bottom forming pattern. You can see new lows, and you can see they were making new lows with higher momentum on RSI and PPO, and I think it's getting ready for a bounce. Crude oil a little bit lower, but it's by the dip. It can go as low as 73 bucks, this whole support areas, but it's by the dip, so look to buy all the dips. Toronto Stock Exchange, I think on 1 hour chart there are multiple gaps. Those gaps will be filled, and from here you can see first gap is around 2.453, and then almost 3.62% up. So multiple gaps, you have to make a call how far it's gonna go. Hang Seng Index getting lower and lower, but you can see, let's see if it burned through divergence yet. No, PPO still has some divergence. RSI almost burned through it. Let's go to 1 hour chart. There's this resistance trend line you can draw if before you want to get bullish, but you can see on 1 hour chart we have higher momentum on PPO and RSI. So I think it's getting ready for a pump anytime, and I will show you on my 1 minute day trading chart. It's in the buy zone. Bitcoin again on the support. You can see here support on daily chart. I don't have buy signal yet, but you can see RSI telling me it's very oversold, so we could get a dead cat bounce. And if I bring these EMA lines, you can see it's way below this 200 EMA. So at minimum we will have a bounce till it can go. So you can see every time it goes straight up, it comes down, so it gets stayed down, so it could go straight up again. Okay, so in a day or two you could see a massive pump, and you want to see back on this trend line. Let me hide these EMA lines. You really want to see Bitcoin recover back on this trend line. Ethereum, same thing on the support area here, looking for it to go back up, but as of right now no symbols. And if I go to 1 hour chart, let's go on Bitcoin. I don't see any divergences yet, so let's see. I'd like to see some divergences built, or at least to see some green line go above red line before we get a buy signal. Bonds again new lows, but where it should find bottom, right on the support area here, looking for a bounce and bottom very soon. Copper right in the buy zone, bouncing from the buy zone. Palladium right in the buy zone, bouncing from the buy zone. You can see it was in a bullish falling wedge, broke out, back tested, and now it's getting ready to go higher. Wheat again same thing again. It was broke out of this bullish falling wedge, broke out, back test 1, broke out, back test 2. Now it's getting ready for a pump, so everything looks good with wheat. Corn again finding resistance. This was support here, so it broke down, resistance, now going down, looking for a higher price on wheat. Soybeans in the support area came down, just back testing the support. I think it's getting ready to go higher. Sugar not able to pass this resistance, so you have to wait until this goes above right here, let's say 25 bucks, before you can get bullish again. But it can be very explosive pump whenever that happens. Let me turn auto here. You can see here we can also draw a trend line. Let's see. On sugar, let's see if we can draw something like this. You can also draw a secondary trend line like this. Let's see if it wants to come right here, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, something like this. Okay. Draw also draw a secondary trend line. All right. Let's see what else is there. Newmont mine, basically right in the support zone near all-time high, all-time lows. This is where you want to buy Newmont mine. You can see what's happening here. Bullish momentum on PPO, bullish momentum on RSI. Price going lower with higher momentum, and this is where you want to buy stocks which are low. This is near 52 weeks low. How low it can go? Cannot go lower than that. All right. So I think this is where you should be grabbing Newmont mine. This is your golden opportunity. Uh, let's look at sectors. XLK bouncing, and 1 hour chart. There was a gap in the morning, but I think it came to fill that gap. So now it's bouncing, looking good. It will do same as triple Qs. So I think it's ready for filling this couple of gas. XLE, buy the dip. This is energy sector, buy the dip. XLV, healthcare sector, consolidating. I think it's going to go fill this gap before it goes to make a new all-time high. XLU. This is the best time to buy. Broke this channel support line. Now this looks like a stop rate, but you can see what's happening. New lows with higher momentum on PPO and RSI. You can see new low compared to this low, and you can see PPO is going higher. Even RSI is going higher. This is where you want to grab all the shares of utilities company. XLU sector, you can look into holdings of this. Industrial sector, same as Dow Jones, a little bit weak, but it's ready to pump. Real estate sector, right on this trend line. This is where you want to buy. You can see buy here, buy here, buy here. Now again, coming to buy. Financials, a little bit weak. There's a gap here, so it's quite possible fill this, then come down. But just keep in mind this trend line. And KRA regional banks, wanted these to fill the gap first, but looks like it wants to come down and now fill this gap before it goes higher. Tesla massive pump, it broke below this trend line and today gap up. If you go to 1 hour chart, you can see gap up. This gap will be filled eventually. I don't know when. So that's the only thing which bothers me, but there are also these yellow gaps up. So I think it's back on this trend line, maybe heading higher again. Netflix finding support on this trend line. You can see how support here, support here, support, 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 getting ready for a pump. Google, again, same thing on this trend line, getting ready for a pump. Microsoft up, broke this trend line, wants to recover. There are multiple gaps to the upside, so getting ready for a pump. Meta, again, broke this trend line. Now again, there's gap here. So I think from here, we're heading higher. Apple was forming bottom. I told you guys a couple of days ago when the Apple was forming bottom, you can see bearish rising wedge broke down. Now it looks like it's doing a bottom pattern. The first gap is still, Apple is still a good trade from here. First gap is around 8%, second gap is around 11% up, so still a lot of room for Apple to go. Amazon right on this trend line, now getting ready for a pump. Snowflake up 2.8%. I think earnings is Wednesday. So let's see if we get a gap down here on earnings. I think there's a gap here, so just be mindful of that. Let's see if they want to come back. Let's quickly look at 1 hour chart and see if I got the gap right. Let's see, just want to make sure. So you can see this gap here was filled. I don't see this gap here. Let's see if there was a gap here. Okay, there's a gap here right now. Just it was created now. Let's see other gap here. You can see this other earnings gap was here. So yeah, so gaps are done right here. They are pointed right. So yeah, let's see. Earnings, when we might come down, fill this gap and then bounce higher. We have to keep an eye. NVDA keep going higher. The only issue is you can see this RSI and PPO almost about to make a new all-time high with divergence on PPO and RSI. If you go to 1 hour chart, you can see massive gap created here. I don't like this gap, okay? So it could be a trap, guys. They're trying to trap you guys, and it could, after earnings, they could dump all the way here, all the NVIDIA stocks, and then you've got to be very careful. If you're in profit, exit NVIDIA. Do not hold for long. AMD also getting ready to go higher. I think that's about it, guys. Let's quickly look at stocks and their zones. Let's see for tomorrow what zones they are in. Let's quickly look at our standard deviation indicator. Let's go to 1 minute chart, and let's see, this is quick trades for as soon as tomorrow. So it looks like these futures are stopped for some reason. Let's see if they bring back to live market tomorrow. But US 500 is these are the zones. Let me add some extended hours back here so we can see it. These are extended hours. So US 500, the zones are 4406. It's very close to the sell zone. Nasdaq closed in the sell zone, so if you get a little bit of dip, so I will share with my subscriber the zones in the morning. If you get a little bit of dip, look to buy before going higher. Dow Jones near the neutral zone. US 2000 also near neutral zone. Gold is near sell zone, but still a bit far away. Let's say 1899 and up is in the sell zone. Gold miners bouncing now in the neutral zone. Still low, higher prices are coming, in my opinion. Triple Qs near the sell zone. You can see how nicely it came to sell zone and now it's holding here. So let's see tomorrow. Maybe we'll get a little bit of dip and then go higher again. So just remember the targets I told you in the morning earlier on this video. Silver also close to the sell zone. Natural gas. It came to the buy zone. You can see Friday was in the buy zone, now came to the sell zone, and in the neutral zone, still can run higher to 2.76 and up. Crude oil near the buy zone, it can go lower to 79.63 to see. Toronto Stock Exchange right in the buy zone. This is great time to buy TSX, Hang Seng Index, just bouncing slightly from the buy zone. Very good time to buy this. Bitcoin now in the sell zone, although it's red, still looks like it wants to come down, but still it can go higher to like 26, 233 and up. Ethereum near the neutral zone, still it can go higher as 1682. Bonds are in the buy zone. TLT is where you want to buy bond. Copper in the middle, palladium in the middle. Let's quickly look at stocks which are red. Wheat near buy zone, 593.9 and below, look to buy wheat. Corn touched the buy zone. Soya beans, forget it. Sugar is already in the buy zone. Good time to buy sugar. SPY in the neutral zone. Dow Jones near buy zone. Very good time to buy Dow Jones. RWM near buy zone. Newmont Mine near buy zone. So look to grab this if you get an opportunity. And let's look at sectors. Let's look at sectors which sold. XLE, nothing here. XLU bouncing from the buy zone. Industrial sector bounce is still in the buy zone. XLI, look to buy tomorrow. XLRE in the buy zone tomorrow. XLF just bouncing, still very close to the buy zone. KRE also in the buy zone. And I think all tech stocks pumped today, so I'm going to ignore all these because they are in the they were in the buy. Let's quickly look at Tesla. Tesla, as you can see here, was telling everybody to buy here, and today it's in the sell zone. So if it can cool down here, it's possible. So that's mostly must be same for all tech stocks. Disney in the middle. UPS is in the buy zone. Home Depot is in the buy zone. McDonald's is in the buy zone. Nike is in the buy zone. Honeywell bouncing now. So let's look at red stocks. Procter and Gamble, looks like all industrial stocks are in the buy zone. Starbucks in the buy zone. Uber in the middle. Verizon in the middle. Ignore this. Bell is in the buy zone. Costco in the buy zone. Walmart in the middle. Coca-Cola in the middle. BRK in the middle. UNH Healthcare in the middle. Let's see, ABBV near buy zone here. Chinese sector should be in the buy zone, near the buy zone. Let's quickly look at those. MCHI in the buy zone. Alibaba bounced from the buy zone. Baidu in the buy zone. I think those are the main things. And then all the banks are in the buy zone. You can see Royal Bank, TD, BNS, CM, National Bank. All these are in the buy zone. MFC, Sun Life Financials, all JP Morgan. Little bit bounce. Citigroup is in the buy zone. Goldman Sachs in the buy zone. Bank of America, little bit of bounce. And let's quickly look at Enbridge and some other stocks. Enbridge near buy zone. FTS is in the buy zone. CNQ bouncing. NXOM also in the middle. Alright guys, hopefully this all was helpful, and again if you like the content, please hit the like button, and if you want to subscribe, there's the join button. I will provide video updates in morning, pre-market, these zones, and also in the mid of the day. And again, on your way out, please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys joining my channel. Thank you. Bye.